Hey, and welcome to the part 5 in this video series about Echinoidea, the pavilion built in Milan in Italy 2022. This is how far we have come in the previous tutorial. Now we are going to generate the joints for the first half of the pavilion and turn off the second half, this mirrored half of the pavilion. And we will work only with this side of the pavilion. Let's see. We start with the first row, and I will show you how the first row is going to look like so that you can follow and that you know what we are going to do. I already did this before. This is our first row, and the first row we are going to cut with the sticks from the second row, and the result for the first row are these joints. And you see this last stick or the first stick, I don't know the position of this stick in the list just now. This stick doesn't have any joint, and that means that we are going to exclude this stick before generating the joints. And let's do that. Let's go to the first row, that's this one, and we will cut the first row with the sticks from the second row. And for that we are going to use, let's see, intersection menu. We are going to use solid difference, and as we said, we are going to exclude this stick from this list, and for that we are going to use split list component, and we connect this list to this list input value, and Grasshopper wants index input value. And let's see, we can start with index 1. And index 1 will exclude this stick, and we want to exclude the opposite stick. And we are going to list length. The list length is 40, and let's see. We do not have index value 40. That's why we are going to use mathematical operation, and we need the list length again. I don't know why I erased the list length. And list length -1 means that this split list is going to exclude the last item, this one. The split list is going to make two lists. This index value, list length -1, is going to make one list with only this item in the list, and the rest will be in this A list. Now we are going to cut these breps with the row 2, and let's do that and see the result. Grasshopper is calculating now, and let's see what we have. I will turn this second row off, and I will even turn off the original sticks. We'll turn off this one as well, and now we see only the joints. And the first one doesn't have any joint, and these next 4 sticks have only one joint, and the rest of the sticks have 2 joints, and we don't want that. We want only one joint for each stick, and to do that we need to graft the lists, and I will explain why. This is the data for the first row that we are using for the split difference, and let's read the data for the second row. That's this one. As you see, we have 2 lists, and each list is one group with 39 items, and that means that Grasshopper is going to take this first item in the second list and check for the intersection on every item in the first list. And the second item in the second list is going to be matched for intersection through all the items in the first list, and so on. And The first item in this second list is going to cut through the first two items in the first list. The next item in the second list is going to cut through the next two items in the first list, and so on. And that's why we have two joints, but as you see, we only have one joint for the first 4 sticks, and that's because we don't have solids. I come back to these first 4 items, and what we need to do is to graft those two lists so that we have lists with individual objects, not as one single group. And that's why we are going to graft the lists. Move this a little bit. Let's see. We can graft them here to start with, and here. And now you see, we don't have any joints for the first 4 sticks, and that's because these sticks are not solids. Let's see, we have only joints on the first row where the second row cuts completely through the first row, and I will show you what I mean. First, I'm going to cup the holes to make solids for the first row, and cup holes I think I have under surface, utilities, cup holes. And now I'm going to connect this cup hole list to this split difference, and let's see if I have my joints. I will turn this off, cup holes component, and I will even turn off the second row. No, I need even cup holes for the second row. Let's see if I have the joints now. Yes, now I have joints. If we don't cup holes, then Grasshopper is going to produce joints only if the second row is cutting through the first row completely. Otherwise, solid difference is not going to work. You see, here is the stick where the second row is not cutting completely, and here, and even this one and this one, you can see the second row is not cutting completely through this stick. That's why we need to do cap holes. And now I have the joints for the first row. I will move it up here. And my first row consists of these sticks with the joints, and even of this stick that was excluded. I will even cup holes for this prep that was excluded. Bring new cup hole component here and turn off this one, the previous one. We will merge those two components, and that's going to be our first row. And let's find merge. Set, that's under set, tree menu, and merge. First one, second one. I turn off the previous components, and now I have my first row. That's done. We can organize a little bit here on the screen. It's quite messy just now. And let's bring the scribble. Call this one row 1 and group. Now we have our first row. Let's go to the second row, and the second row on. And for the second row, let's go to see what we are going to do. For the second row, it's easier to follow the script. This is my second row, and the second row is going to have joints in this lower part and in this upper part. 2 joints for each stick. And let's see, the next, we start with the first row, cut the second row with the first row, and that means that, see if I need to exclude anything. I'm not going to exclude anything from the second row, but let's see. This means that's my joints at the lower part of the second row, and that means that I need to exclude this last stick in the first row. This one is not going to cut through the second row. That's why I'm going to exclude this stick. I think that stick has the index number 1. And let's go back to Grasshopper. Now we will generate the sticks, the lower sticks for the second row. And here is our second row. And we need the sticks from the first row, but not all the sticks from the first row. We will exclude this one. Let's go up And see here, in this one we excluded the last one. I will make a group for this definition, Control G. Let's call it something. Exclude the last one. Okay, and add to the group. And now I will exclude the first one. I will take split list again, connect, let's see, yeah, I connect this one call pattern to the list input value, and I'm going to exclude the first one. I take this panel and connect to this index, and let's see, go to primitives, take empty wrap component, copy. And now I have two lists, the excluded item and the rest of the list. And this one I'm going to group, and I will call it exclude the first one, exclude the last one, right here exclude the first one instead. Okay, make a group, Control G, bring it down closer to the second row. These are the sticks I'm going to use. These are my solids. I make solids of these wraps as well, otherwise solid difference is not going to work properly. Surface, utilities, cap holes, put it here. Solid difference, it's under the intersection menu. I'm going to connect this to the A input value and this one to the B input value. I will cut row 2 with sticks from the row 1. I need to graft as we did before both lists. I will graft it here in this component. And let's see, I took the wrong one, that's this one I need. And now I will hide all sticks except for these. Will hide this one as well, and I will even hide my first row. And now I have the lower joints for the second row, and it looks good. I have all the joints and only one joint for each stick. That's correct. I don't need to merge anything since I didn't exclude anything from the second row. Let's make a group, call it row 2. And group, Control G. Now I have the second row, and we are not done. Actually, this is not our second row, it is our second row with the lower joints. I will ungroup this. Keep this text for later. Now I will take these sticks with lower joints and make upper joints. Let's see how the upper joints look like. If I need to exclude anything from the upper row. Let's see. This is our second row. And for the upper joints, we will exclude this stick from the third row. Now let's go back to Grasshopper. So we are going to exclude this one before we start cutting the second row with the sticks from the upper row, and split list again. Connect this list to the list input value in the split list, and in this is going to be, let's try list length -1. Empty wrap. Yeah, that's these wraps we need. And I will make solid of these wraps. Go to surface and cap holes. Now I will turn this off. And this one. I turn off everything except for these sticks that I'm going to cut with. And let's see. Row 2. Let's see the data. Yeah, they are individual objects, so I don't need to graft them. And this component, they are not individual objects, so this list I need to graft. And Now Grasshopper is going to cut this brep with this brep, and then this brep with value 1 with this brep with the same index value, and so on. Let's go to the intersection menu. I take the new solid difference component, and that's this one that I'm going to cut, and I connect it to A input value, and this one I'm going to cut with, and I connect it to the B input value. Let's hide input values, preview off, and now let's see. This is our second row, and we have joints in the lower part on this side and on the upper part of this row on the opposite side. So this is our row 2. I make a group of this, and that's those sticks that we are going to move to BIM objects in Revit. Control G. And now the third row. For the third row, we don't see all the joints here. I couldn't make a better picture. We take this one. I highlighted the sticks you don't see the joints on in the previous picture. Let's see if we need to exclude anything. That's these joints. We don't have any joint here. It means that we are going to exclude this one. I think this one has the index 1. That's the first stick in the list. And let's see. Yeah, basically we exclude this one. Let's go to Grasshopper. My third row is here. Preview. This one was the exclude last item in the list. Now I'm going to exclude the first item in the list. Scribble. Exclude the last item. Okay. Make a group. Let's copy the whole definition. Copy even this text. Change the last to the first. Okay, delete the list length. Let's see. That's correct. Control G to make a group, and then I'm going to cap holes. Go to Surface, Utilities, cap holes, graph the list, solid difference, intersection menu, solid difference, and I'm going to cut these sticks. That's why I connect them to A input value, and row 2 I'm going to connect to the B input value. Let's see, let's read the data. Yeah, I don't need to graph the list. This is my row 3. Let's see, let's turn this row 2 off, and let's see. These are my sticks for the third row. It looks good, but there is something more here I need to hide. That's this one, cow button. Preview, and now I see the third row. That's on, and it looks like that I have all my joints correctly. Yes, that's correct. And now I'm going to use merge as for the first row. Go to set 3 merge component, and then I need the first rep that is excluded. That's this one. Exclude the first item. The first item is in the output value A, and I merge these components with this item, and this is my row 3, and I turn off all other components, and this is my row 3, and that's the one that we are going to move to BIM object in Revit. And I do the same thing for this row as for the previous ones. Scribble, row 3, okay, and make a group. So these are all my rows with joints that we are going to move together to Revit, to BIM objects in Revit. And that I'm going to show you in the next part, part 6. Thank you for watching. See you in the part 6.